Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for joining me this week for another video. I am super excited and I have a ton of energy today. So I didn't have coffee. It's just one of those days where I'm just hyped up on life, I guess. Or maybe I've just been getting a lot of sleep, but my energy level has been like through the roof today. So I'm trying to keep it peppy for you, but also maybe tone it down a little. But anyways, this week I want to dive into self-sabotaging behavior. And so I want to go over ways that we do sabotage our relationships, right? And I also want to go over the difference between fear and intuition. Now, before I get started, if you haven't already, don't forget to click on the subscribe button below. Don't forget to also click on the notification bell. This will keep you informed each week when I do upload a new video so you never miss a thing. I often offer free coaching sessions that I tend to give away, so you guys don't want to miss that if you do follow me and possibly have an opportunity to do free coaching with me. So definitely click on the notification bell. We are almost at 100,000 subscribers, which is crazy, but it's so amazing. And I'm so thankful and happy. And this channel it really means a lot to me. I love sitting down doing videos for you guys. I love the feedback. It's just such a great community. And even doing some of the free sessions, getting to know you guys now when I read your comments and I know who you are and I know what you're going through, it's a great feeling. And I love the community that we're building here. So thank you guys so much for all of your love and support. Wholeheartedly from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. So self-sabotaging behavior is a really great topic because we all have goals, we all have dreams, we all have things that we want in our lives, whether it's a specific career, whether it's how much money we want to make a year, whether it's a relationship, it doesn't really matter. So some of our goals or our dreams can actually give us momentum to fight through any fear, stress, or doubt and keep pushing through until we get to where we want to be. Then there are other aspects of our lives that when we have this goal, we have this vision and this dream, when we start getting close to it, we get so scared for many reasons, the fear of losing it, the fear of abandonment in relationships. Really, it's just the fear of losing something, not having something, or something not happening for us, right? Our low confidence or low self-esteem might come into play, that we might have a story that tells us that we're not worthy or we don't feel worthy of it. Whatever it is that's going on inside, all of that stuff combined will start to basically put up walls and will prevent us from moving forward. So one of the number one signs of someone who is self-sabotaging themselves is the person that overthinks. So overthinking is a self-sabotaging tactic that we use in an attempt to try to avoid pain. So if I can overthink a situation and I can try to play out every scenario, that way I can pick the best scenario that will cause me the least amount of pain and the most pleasure, then everything will be peachy keen and life will be great. What ends up happening when we overthink is we actually create scenarios of situations that aren't even in existence. They're not even happening yet. So now we're creating scenarios of things that cause us more fear than they do the momentum and the confidence to believe that something's going to happen for us, right? So when we're overthinking, we're not really overthinking scenarios that are joyous ones and where everything works out for us and this is really going to happen and I'm fighting through all that fear and everything like that. When we're overthinking, we're coming from the insecurity, we're coming from lack, we're coming from worry, we're coming from fear, and we create scenarios that aren't really even happening and which cause us to feel debilitated, to not take action towards the things that we really want in our lives. So now, if I'm prone to overthinking, that means that I obsessively think about certain scenarios, and when I do this, what ends up happening is I'm obsessively thinking about my partner and all the ways that this could go wrong, and maybe just starting to nitpick at my partner and examine them in all of these ways that become obsessive. And so what ends up happening is my mind, because of these scenarios, I'm causing more fear and I'm not wanting to be around this person. I'm not wanting to be in this relationship because I'm linking these scenarios that are playing in my mind that I'm overthinking. These scenarios now become so real because I've given it so much attention and energy that I have pretty much laid out the foundation of what I think is going to happen. And what ends up happening is your biggest fears become your reality. Now, I know what most of you are thinking. Well, what's the difference between fear, me playing out these scenarios with this person, me thinking that this person's good, and maybe now I'm feeling that they're not, or whatever. So let's get into what the difference is between fear and intuition. So remember, your fear thoughts come from your ego. The difference between fear and intuition, fear comes with a story. So if you've been burned, if you've been abandoned, if you've been left, if you've been let down, if you've experienced true heartbreak, then you're going to attach love and relationships. You're going to attach pain with love and relationships, which creates a story. Now, because the ego is designed to keep you safe, and it's linking danger, danger when you get too close to people, or danger when you get in relationships, or, love is dangerous and you can't trust people, or whatever, right? The story is that you're playing over and over again. The ego is holding all of that. And so it wants to keep you safe. So it's linked pain, relationships equal pain. And so whenever you get close, it's going to stop you, and it's going to bring up all these fear thoughts. It's going to bring up all this stress and anxiety and overthinking and nitpicking at your partner, because it wants to keep you safe. It doesn't want you to experience the pain that you once felt before. Now, with your intuition, so remember, fear versus intuition. Fear, there's a story attached to it. All men cheat. I've been cheated on before. This is probably going to happen again. But now intuition is just a knowing. So we can't know if someone's going to abandon us. We can't know if someone's going to leave us. We can't know any of those things. All we can know is based off of what we know about this person right here, right now. Is this person good for me? Is this person healthy for me? How do I feel when I'm around this person? Your feelings, the way your body responds to people and energy says everything. So with intuition, you might feel fear, but you're more excited about this person than you are fearful of this person and this situation. So think of a time when you went to go do something and you just had a knowing. There's a voice inside of you that's saying, this just isn't right. The voice isn't screaming at you. The voice isn't saying danger, danger. The voice isn't like trying to manipulate you and tell you all these stories as to why you shouldn't do something. You just have a knowing that this just doesn't feel right. So that's your intuition talking. When you get true anxiety about something, take a step back and ask yourself, where is this anxiety coming from? Is this intuition, which my intuition's telling me stop it, please stop it, I'm telling you that this isn't right for you? Or are these fear-based thoughts that are causing you to feel this way? Or do you have the feeling you want to be with this person, you're excited to see this person, you miss this person, and you're happy around them, but there's this story that's playing on in the background that's keeping you from really being open to this person. So you have to really slow down and be able to have these conversations with yourself. The next thing that we do that really contributes to self-sabotaging behavior is unhealed wounds. So if you have unhealed wounds and you're just walking around living life, then you're going to create these fear-based scenarios. Now, because like I said earlier, the ego wants to keep you safe because you've been through pain before. And so now it's saying, okay, a relationship equals pain, or getting too close to someone equals pain, or being vulnerable with someone equals pain. It's going to do a few things to kind of manipulate you, to make you feel okay, yeah, it's this relationship, it's this person, it's just not right for you, when it's really not the person or the relationship, it's the self-sabotaging behavior that your ego is trying to do. So one of the first things is picking fights. So when we start picking fights with our partner, there's an underlying issue that's going on there, and it's usually within yourself. So when we start kind of nitpicking at each other, and all of a sudden this tiny little pebble of a discussion now turns into a full-blown argument and a fight where we're not talking for days or anything like that, and you're like, what were we even fighting about? When that stuff starts to happen, what's going on is possibly one or both people have an unhealed wound that's inside of them, and that wound is coming to the surface. And that wound, these two wounds are fighting each other now, because it's not about the little pebble that we're arguing about, it's the bigger underlying issue that sometimes both people don't even know actually exists, because they're not willing to go deep within their own selves to find out what's really going on inside of me that I'm nitpicking with this person and going back and forth with them. This next one is probably one of my favorites because I know that I've done this in past relationships, and this is when we pick at people's flaws, so to speak. So this is when we're in a relationship with someone and we're just looking at them, and all of a sudden we noticed you have a weird toe, or your nose does this weird thing, or when you eat you make this annoying sound, and we start like nitpicking these like flaws that we think are within this person when they're not really flaws, they're just things that make them who they are. And we start nitpicking so much that we begin like questioning our relationship, questioning this person. Like, can I deal with that toe? Like, can I deal with you making this noise forever and ever? And so again, this is fear-based self-sabotaging tactics. This is self-sabotaging behaviors that we begin doing to start nitpicking at this person so we can convince ourselves that there's something wrong with this person and we shouldn't be with them. The next way that our unhealed wounds can sabotage our relationship is we begin to withdraw from our partner in our relationship. So this is where there's nothing that's happened, there's no red flags, but you knowingly can sense that this relationship is starting to evolve, that we're starting to get deeper, we're starting to get closer to each other. And again, a lot of this stuff is done unconsciously. We're not consciously aware that because we're wanting like distance from this person, that this is the reason why we want distance from this person. What's really going on here is we want distance from them because, like I said, there's no red flags, there's nothing going on, but the relationship could possibly start evolving into something more serious, and that scares us. And when we're so scared of the feeling of possibly getting in this relationship and maybe going through some of the heartbreak and pain that we have once experienced, again, it's going to debilitate us. It's going to want us to put a pause on moving forward in a relationship. This is where sometimes the person doesn't want to be with their partner as much, they want to be with their friends, or they're not planning, fun things to do with their partner anymore. They're just not putting the time and the effort into this relationship. This comes after we're picking fights with them, after we start picking at them and all their flaws and nitpicking so much that we're like, is this person right for me? Can I deal with this person? So because we're playing all of these fear-based stories in our mind, we've created a scenario now where this person isn't right for me. That we're picking at each other, and I'm picking fights with this person, and they have this weird toe and they do this thing that like really annoys me, but it has nothing to do with like who they are at their core, their character, and how I feel around them. We're just picking so much that now we've convinced ourselves that this person isn't right for us, and we begin withdrawing from the relationship. So the only way to stop yourself from self-sabotaging is to know what you want. So if I know exactly what I want, if I know how I want to feel when I'm with someone, and as long as I feel that way when I'm with this person, doesn't mean that this person's going to be perfect, but at their core, they're a good person, they have good character, they treat me well, we have a great foundation of trust and a great friendship, and we're able, even when we have arguments, we're able to still take a step back and communicate with each other effectively. If all of those boxes are checked off and you still find yourself nitpicking and picking fights and wanting to withdraw, and you have to be aware that you're doing those things. So if you know that majority of the stuff is good, but you feel this like fear coming through, you have to be able to acknowledge that that's fear, and you have to be able to acknowledge where that fear is coming from. Now, the root of all of these fears could very well come from a past experience, right? It could come from, okay, well, I was burned in my last relationship and I don't want to experience that again, so now I have this fear of it happening again. That fear could have lived with you even before that relationship even happened. And usually the fears that we have of the fear of abandonment, fear of intimacy, fear of being vulnerable really stem from our childhood. So if you had unhealthy childhood attachments to your parents where possibly, you didn't feel seen, or someone wasn't emotionally there for you, or maybe someone did abandon you, whatever it is, doesn't mean mom and dad were bad people. It just means that they weren't able to always connect with you the way that you needed to be connected with, right? Maybe a lot of the love that you received was conditional love, that when you got the A in school and you were a good boy or a good girl all the time at the dinner table, or you were the star athlete, that you got praise and love and attention, and you felt that that was the only way that you could get those things. And so the insecurity and codependency tends to form in you because That's how you sought love. You sought love based off of what can I give you. If I give you all of these things and you give me love and approval and you're there for me, then I need to keep being a good boy or girl, and I need to keep doing all these things to make you happy. And when that didn't happen, someone rejected you, someone abandoned you, someone wasn't there for you. So you created this story as a child, this programming that, like I always say, like relationships equal pain. So when we have that story based off of a past experience or based off of a childhood wound, and we're not aware that that's the wound that we have, when we go in relationships and we start sabotaging them, we don't even realize what we're doing. We're just going off of fear, and we're going off of old programming. We're not consciously making decisions in our life. So we have to know, okay, I have a fear. I have a fear of abandonment, okay? Like some dad left, mom left. I have this fear. Mom wasn't really ever there for me. And when I got into a relationship, someone left me. Like, we have to be able to acknowledge that stuff within ourselves. And when we do get into relationships again, as long as the relationship is a good relationship and you don't see red flags, and for the most part, you feel good and you're trying to just date maybe and learn things about this person, and all of a sudden this fear starts coming back, you have to be able to acknowledge, like, oh, the fear's here. It's coming and it's trying to sabotage me, and you have to stop it in its tracks. It's not easy stuff to do, but it is easy when you start really getting to know yourself. You have to know yourself inside and out. You are your own best friend. So you have to know, I'm insecure and I'm codependent sometimes, and you have to know when you are being that way. So I hope that has helped you guys understand the difference between fear and intuition. I hope that you have got more insights as to how we can sabotage our relationships, good relationships. So if you have liked this video, don't forget to comment down below. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Please send me any DMs or questions that you have on video topics that you would like to see, and I will see you in my next video.